Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. The beginning is the most important part of the work. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Character is simply habit long continued. Necessity is the mother of invention. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. A house that has a library in it has a soul. Happiness springs from doing good and helping others. Only the dead have seen the end of war. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. The measure of a man is what he does with power. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. The first and best victory is to conquer self. A grateful mind is a great mind which eventually attracts to itself great things. Those who tell the stories rule society. No wealth can ever make a bad man at peace with himself. Ignorance, the root and the stem of every evil. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. The worst form of injustice is pretended justice. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. The soul of man is immortal and imperishable. To conquer oneself is the best and noblest victory. To be vanquished by one's own nature is the worst and most ignoble defeat. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Courage is knowing what not to fear. Education is teaching our children to desire the right things. Lack of activity destroys the good condition of every human being. Nothing in the affairs of men is worthy of great anxiety. The wise man will want to be ever with him who is better than himself. The object of education is to teach us to love what is beautiful. Any man may easily do harm, but not every man can do good to another. You should not honor men more than truth. The madness of love is the greatest of heaven's blessings. Death is not the worst that can happen to man. Writing is the geometry of the soul. No man should bring children into the world who is unwilling to persevere to the end in their nature and education. The penalty that good men pay for not being interested in politics is to be governed by men worse than themselves. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. True friendship can exist only between equals. The most virtuous are those who content themselves with being virtuous without seeking to appear so. The soul takes flight to the world that is invisible, but there arriving she is sure of bliss and forever dwells in paradise. All the gold which is under or upon the earth is not enough to give in exchange for virtue. For this feeling of wonder shows that you are a philosopher, since wonder is the only beginning of philosophy. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes.